emotional I was ever allowed to go with Master Chief, and plus it was the first time that Jen and I had actually recorded in the studio together, and so it was it was a very emotional session. I remember that when we were doing that, towards the end of the sessions, they 343 wanted to bring in a camera crew and sort of film us, recording our lines, and there was some people there that were going to interview us, and there was a lot of people on the other side of the glass, watching us record, which was fine, until we got to the day to do the final scene. And I requested that everybody leave the studio except the people who absolutely had to be there, which were the director, the producer, Jen Taylor, of course, because I knew it was going to be an emotional day, and I just didn't want a bunch of noses pressed up against the glass, watching me do this, because I was going to have to draw on some things that would be a little difficult to do, and so they granted the request, and everybody left, and it was just just the necessary personnel, essential personnel, as they say, when we did that. So those were my favorite moments in recording the game.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
My first question was, are you familiar with the Red vs. Blue series?
I'm familiar with it, yes. It's a great series. Great series.
My question was, would you ever guest star in at least one episode?
Sure. You know what? I've never been asked. I think there might have been, in the early days of Red versus Blue, I think there might have been some inquiries, and I wasn't sure if I was allowed to, because that's not an official Bungie thing or an official 343 thing, and I didn't, I serve at the request of 343. And I respect that, and I try not to do things that either they don't sanction or would not approve of. But if that was all above board, sure, it would be fun to do.
Last question.
I got to get clearance from the tower. That's what I'm saying.
Last question. Have you ever met any of the Red vs. Blue members?
Have I ever met them?
Yes.
No, I haven't.
No?
They're here in Texas, aren't they? In Austin, yeah. Yeah, no, I've never met them. But I would like, they do great work. It's fun stuff, and they, I think Microsoft likes what they do. I don't know for sure, but I think it's all good fun. So, yeah. Have you ever met them?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, tell them I said hi.
I will, on the internet.
Okay.
In my comments.
All right, please do.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
I just want to ask, do you think we'll be seeing you in other games besides the Halo?
Besides Halo, I have nothing on the books, as they say, in that regard. I mean, the thing about voicing a character like Master Chief is you tend to get typecast, as they say. And so, if I had a dime for every time I auditioned for a Star Wars character, I'd be a rich man. But I've never once booked, one of the things, because, that's Master Chief, and that's not what they want. So I don't really, but you know what? If you're going to be stuck with one character, not bad being stuck with Master Chief. So.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
I'm not complaining.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
How do you feel working for
343?
Yeah, 343.
They're tremendous. It's when the whole handoff first happened between Bungie, because I love the guys at Bungie. I mean, that they brought me in. I owe Marty O'Donnell everything.
Do you miss them?
343?
No, Bungie.
Oh, Bungie, yeah. Mainly Marty, Joe Staten a little bit, but Marty was my main connection. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here right now. I certainly wouldn't have had anything to do with Master Chief. So I owe those guys everything. And when the handoff occurred between Bungie and 343, I wondered, what it was going to be like. Were they going to have the same sort of care and respect for the franchise that Bungie did? And not to mention would I still be a part of it? And it turned out they brought me even closer into it than I was with Bungie. Like I said, when we did Halo 1, 2, and 3, Jen Taylor and I had never met. We didn't meet until the Halo 1 anniversary party out in Seattle in 2011. That's the first time we ever laid eyes on each other. And so they understood the importance of sort of bringing the people together to the way they are, in making the game. And so I've gotten to know them even more than I did, with the guys from Bungie. So I think personally, and I know there are some Bungie loyalists out there, and I respect that tremendously, but I think the franchise is in great hands. And I think what they have in mind for the future of Halo is going to be fantastic. And there's a hell of a burden. You people expect a lot from these guys, and the one thing about the video game culture is the good ones, the good games, listen to their audience and respect the wishes of their audience, much more so than I think in other media. And 343 is very tuned into what you want and what you like and what you don't like. And you'll see that, I'm guessing, in the progress they'll make between Halo 4 and Halo 5. And some of what you'll see is a result of your feedback in terms of what you liked and what you didn't like. So I think it's in great hands, and I love working for those guys. I can't wait to get back and do it again.
Good. One more thing. My friend's in the audience, and she wants to hear you say Cortana. Can you do that for me?
Cortana. Is that you? Cortana. I think there's a whole outtake reel somewhere of me saying Cortana in about 18,000 different ways. But Jen would have all these lines. She'd have a whole paragraph of lines. Blah, 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 blah. My line would be, Cortana! Cortana. So, yeah.
Am I dismissed?
Am I doing that right? Is it this? Yes.
Which game did you find the hardest to voice? Like Halo 4, how you said was very emotional for you, and Halo 1 was very new to you. Which one do you think you had the most blunders on, or had the most hardest time?
Which one did I what?
Did you have the most blunders on, or have a hard time saying anything?
Halo 4. Halo 1, I was flying blind, so I just gave them the best interpretation I could do, and they sort of guided me in the direction to where we finally ended up going. But Halo 4 was, as I've often said to people, it's where I always hoped the story would go. And when I found out that this is what they were doing, that they were really going to explore the relationship between Cortana and Master Chief, that's really where I, saw it going, and that's where I really wanted to participate in that. And so when we finally got in to do it, and that there was going to be a lot more interaction between her and I, I had to step up to the challenge. And we worked very hard on it for a long, long time. We worked harder on Halo 4 than all the other games combined. And so it was, and I hope the results were satisfying, but they certainly were for me. When the day was done, I thought I left it all in the studio, as they say, and I hope that the results reflected that.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, for in Halo 4, when Cortana gets destroyed, how were you feeling when you were recording that?
How was I feeling when Cortana were at the end? I was, here's the thing. Jen Taylor is a professional actor. She is in plays all the time up in Seattle. She's done, a lot of work. My background is voiceover and radio, and it would amaze me when we would be doing these scenes where she would be incredibly emotional, to the point of tears, and then the director would say cut, and she'd be like, okay, that was good. Where's the coffee? She was, could turn it on and off. When I did it, I was like a mess on the floor for like 2 hours, because, I had to ride some sort of, let's face it, nobody wants to see Master Chief cry. That would really, the armor would rust and the short circuit shit, and all that. So, but the point is I had to be able to show that he had feelings and emotion, but yet that he was still, not comfortable letting those go, even in the most dire of circumstances, which the death of Cortana was. That was the hardest thing he had ever endured in his adult life. And the only real connection, the only real emotional connection he ever had, really in his life. And now she's gone, or she was leaving, many of her was leaving. And it was very difficult for him, but yet he was still Master Chief. He was still a Spartan. And he couldn't just let that all go. So it was difficult for him to sort of process that kind of emotion. And then as an actor, it was I had to sort of inherit that struggle between really feeling some deep down emotion and yet being very uncomfortable with it. And so I had to conjure up some images in my own life to sort of make that happen. And so it was not easy for me. It was easy for her. It was not easy for me.
And also, one of my friends is in the Pokemon tournament, so can you say finish the battle for him?
I can't say finish the battle.
Finish the fight, sorry.
But I can say finish this fight, god damn it. That's what he really wanted to say. Yes, sir.
Hi. I was wondering, without Cortana, what would you say could be like? Like, without Cortana, Cortana's just kind of the person that kind of grounds him.
Step in a little closer to the mic, because I'm having a hard time hearing.
Okay. How's that? Okay, without Cortana, do you think Master Chief will be less grounded?
Less what? Grounded?
Less grounded in the world, because Cortana is the only person he really knows.
Yeah, I think. We're going to find out, aren't we? I think he's lost without her. It's sort of my takeaway on that little tease scene that they showed last year with Master Chief and the hooded thing and all that. My takeaway from that was that he is lost without her, and he's trying to find his way. And these are just all what I read into it. I don't have any inside information on that, but that's how I see it. Is that was, and I think what you said perfectly described it. She grounded him, and she was the one thing that he could have absolute trust in, and nobody knew Master Chief better than Cortana did. So yeah, it's going to be he's going to have a difficult time without her.
I have just one more question.
Yeah.
Have you ever been into the development studio?
The what?
The development studio, like 343 Studios?
Oh yeah, the 343 Studios. They're actual offices.
Where they make the games.
Yes, I have.
And have you ever been to Bungie's? When you're working with?
No, not with Bungie. Although I think it's the same building. I think they took over the building, and then there's other buildings now that they have too. But yeah, I was I mean, it's an amazing setup. It's, you know, several stories and, you know, zillions of, you know, wires and computers and, you know, people with very messy desks everywhere. That was my first indication that these are hardworking people, because everybody's desk looked like hell. You know, it's just like crap all over the place, but yeah, a really dedicated group of folks to this, and it's